Live from America's heartland, this is the Daily Truth Report with your host, Noah Christopher.
Welcome to the Daily Truth Report. I'm your host, Noah, and returning back on the show today by popular request, gotten a lot of emails about this since the last time he was on, is Chris Burres from C60 Evo. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Noah. Thank you so much for having me back. And I'm glad your audience is interested in hearing kind of the research that we're discussing.
Yeah, absolutely. So they know that I've been taking C60. They know that I like it. And boy, it couldn't be better timing right now with everything. I do whatever I can to get my immune system boosted up right now. I take vitamin D, I take C60 and a bunch of other stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute, but they know it's keeping me healthy. And so I've gotten a lot of emails asking more questions about it. And I thought, let's just have Chris back on. Let's go through some of the questions we've gotten from readers and from viewers and let's talk about them. So if you're up for it, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I'm ready when you are.
No, that's good. Well, and I think what we should say right out of the gate is I love this product. You obviously love it because you chose to go into this business selling and creating this product. And but neither one of us is saying this is a cure for COVID. Neither one of us is saying this is going to necessarily cure any disease or anything else. But all I can speak to, and then you can certainly give you the floor here in a little bit. But I can just speak to the fact that I feel good when I'm taking it. I've been noticing great results, and so that's why I like it. But go ahead, give me whatever disclaimer you want to give me, because we want to make sure we're being fair and open here at the beginning, that we're not claiming it's a miracle cure, but we're saying it might do you some good. Go ahead and tell everybody what you have to say.
Yeah, the official disclaimer is that the FDA has not evaluated our product. It's not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And our customer base, just like you, Noah, has this experience of feeling better, noticing sometimes a difference when they're on the product. Sometimes it boils down to they've got to go off of the product and then they realize the difference after they're off of it and then get back on it and they stay loyal subscribers until the end of time, effectively.
Love it. So we jumped right in there. Let's back up a second. We've had you on before, but for anybody that hasn't heard from you before, maybe they haven't seen what I've written about it. What is C60? Just give me the 1 minute summary. What is this and what does it do for people?
Excellent. So in 1985, here in Houston, that's where we're based, 3 scientists discovered the third form of carbon. We're familiar with diamond. We're familiar with graphite. There's a whole gamut of molecules called fullerenes, and the most abundant of the fullerenes is carbon-60. The 3 scientists who discovered it actually won the Nobel Prize for that discovery. So great. It works in great industrial applications, and I like to say very specifically, C60 is for industrial applications. It makes great tires and inks and batteries and photocells. Because it's such an amazing material, they thought that we would be working with it ubiquitously by now. They also thought for various kind of chemical reasons that it might be toxic. So they did a toxicity study and they published the results of that toxicity study in 2012. Instead of being toxic, well, in that study, they gave rats water, rats olive oil, and then rats olive oil with what we call the ESS60 molecule. So again, C60 for industrial applications, ESS60 for consumable applications. So they gave rats water, rats olive oil, and rats olive oil with ESS60. Instead of being toxic, those rats that they gave really the C60 Evo formula to lived 90% longer than the control group. This is the single longest longevity experimental result in history. And it's peer-reviewed published research, the kind of research that you're looking for if you're going to make a decision about consuming something, about putting something in your body. So we're kind of right away, we got people who started saying, hey, how much should I be taking? Can I order it? And we started servicing those clients as quickly as possible. And now we're here. We've got C60 Evo on the market and we get rave reviews. Our most consistent testimonial is people take it in the morning. They report mental focus and energy during the day and then better sleep that night. There's nothing that I'm aware of on the market or just in general that you do or take in the morning that causes you to have better sleep that night. So we know that not only is this revolutionarily new, it's a very new supplement on the market. It's also doing things that I'm not aware of any other supplement doing.
Incredible. So were you the first to break into this space, or because I've seen other ones out there. I've seen other companies selling C60. I've seen a purple something. I'm not going to name any names, but tell me, were you the first, or if someone's out there searching, why do they want to work with your company?
Well, and you say this, and I'll come back to this, and you said it perfectly. There are other companies out there selling C60. What I say is for industrial applications. So you go back and look at that original paper. My company provided the C60. At that point, when we provided it with C60, the researchers actually turned it into ESS60, that C60 that's good for consumption.
You were the
They
company in the study.
We're mentioned in the study. So we're
Wow.
actually referenced in the reference paper. So
Wow.
we are the origin of this business.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So we were mentioned in it, and that's what kind of propelled us into the forefront. We tried for some period of time not to become supplement guys. We are carbon nanomaterial manufacturing scientists at our core, and we've been delivering I know this is a mouthful, but we've been delivering carbon nanomaterials to research institutions around the world since 1991. Again,
Wow.
C60 for industrial applications. There's no company that has been delivering commercial quantities or any quantities of C60 longer than us. We are the origin of this industry. Now you fast forward to where we want to make sure that the consumer is safe. We want to make sure they're not dealing with an industrial type of C60, however it's manufactured, however it's purified. ESS60 is that C60 which has been processed for safe human consumption. And that's the only thing that we include in our C60 Evo products.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for telling that story. I knew parts of that, but even some of that was new to me. And I like to pride myself in doing my research and understanding. That's what we do at Daily Truth Report, and we love Trump. We source stories, we dig deep, we research, and we only put out the stuff that's true. And so I had done my research on you, and that's how I found you, because I'd heard about C60, but I wanted to find the best company out there. And I found a lot of those details about you being the first and pioneering a lot of this. So that's very important to me, and I think important to a lot of people. So I'm glad you covered that.
And I think sorry to interrupt, I think it's incredibly important, like just in general, like you're bringing the truth out. It's incredibly important in general. It's probably even more important when you're considering taking a supplement, like you're putting it in your body.
Yes. And boy, we've learned one thing during this pandemic, and that is, if the mainstream media is not talking about something, if big pharma doesn't want you to take something, not always, but a lot of times, that just might be something that's really good for you, because they have their own interest in mind a lot of times, and it's not always the best for you. So I love getting this message out. I love sharing this with people. If you haven't heard of C60 yet, maybe it's time you need to hear about it, because it's time to do things other than just taking shots and injections. So
I would add, like, sorry to interrupt, Noah, I would add two things. So one is, go do the research, right? Good. Like that's what you're doing here. Daily Truth Report. We love Trump. Go do that research behind and know for yourselves. And when you go look for C60, really, you want to look for ESS60, because that is the consumable version of C60.
Excellent. So I'm going to put that in the notes below, just so everybody understands that I would hate to have this video get out and have someone go take the industrial version and actually do damage. So everybody, it's very important. ESS60 is what you want to look for. You want that consumable version. You want the version that was in the test study, and you want the people who pioneered this. So really good. Well, with that background, let's talk briefly about, and I can speak a little bit to my experience, and then you can speak maybe to the science, but some of the actual benefits that people experience. You mentioned sleeping better even when you take it in the morning. It tends to still have that effect late at night, but you're not groggy during the day. I mean, you feel great during the day. You have energy, and then you still have that deeper sleep. But one of the things that I caught my eye as I was looking into this is, and you can correct me if I have the stat wrong, but I thought I saw it's C60 is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. And we got some questions the last time I said that, and people said, well, is this just an overpriced vitamin C? No, we're not saying it's vitamin C. We're saying it's 172 times more powerful as an antioxidant. Maybe you can explain that, because I got that question a couple times.
Yeah. So when the original study came out, where these rats, again, given the C60 Evo formula, lived 90% longer, a lot of people, their initial question is, well, like, why? And I think ultimately the very specific, the very molecular science behind it, biology behind it, is going to be determined by people much smarter than me, frankly. What we can say, and what is very interesting, is current medical science believes that aging is an inflammation and an oxidation process. So you age because you're inflamed and because your body is actually experiencing oxidation. So it's not surprising that our product clicks those two boxes. And I got to be very specific here for FDA reasons. So yeah, you mentioned it. It's an antioxidant. It's been, at least one test out there has shown it to be 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. And you're right, it's not a vitamin C, it's just an antioxidant 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. So that's one of them, the antioxidant. The next is the anti-inflammatory, and you've got to be really careful. The FDA has kind of defined some very specific guidelines. What the FDA does allow us to say is that it's very good as an anti-inflammatory as it relates to exercise inflammation. So we've had a workout or a long day walking or whatever it may be, and our joints are inflamed from that exercise. It is definitely an anti-inflammatory as it relates to exercise-induced inflammation. What the FDA won't allow us to say is that it addresses any other inflammation. And we're working on the studies so that we'll be able to say that, but at this point, we cannot say that. What we can say is that it fits perfectly in with an anti-inflammatory diet. An anti-inflammatory diet is known to be used by people in what are called the blue zones. That's a zone of people who tend to live longer. They have reduced incidences of stroke, reduced incidences of heart attack, and again, they live longer. So it's interesting how it checks those two boxes, and that's probably driving that original study and the fact that those rats, given the C60 Evo formula, lived 90% longer.
Yeah, that's like the Mediterranean diet, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of the anti-inflammation? And those, I think the people in that Mediterranean region are some of the longest living on any part of the world.
Absolutely. And they're highly studied, and it is understood that the anti-inflammatory part is pretty, diet is part of it. It's also known that there are social relationships. You know, it's been well documented that strong social relationships cause you to live longer. And so that's part of what's driving that extension as well.
Yeah, really good, really good. Okay, so you've got antioxidant, you've got anti-inflammatory in certain ways. What about I've noticed, and maybe you can talk more about what you've heard from people, but I've noticed a bit more focus. The ability to sit down longer, focus longer, really drill into something. What about that? Is that something you hear from your people?
Again, all the time, most consistent testimonial. And these are kind of almost diametrically opposed kind of results that you don't typically get. People take it in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, right? And better sleep that night. And I'm going to couple that with one of our testimonials. We got a testimonial video. People often ask, like, how quickly does it react, right? How quickly do you notice a difference? In one particular video, the lady was sharing her experience on it. The first day that she even took one serving, she shared in her video that she didn't finish her cup of coffee that day. I don't know if you're a coffee drinker. I certainly enjoy my coffee. I feel like I don't actually need it now that I'm taking C60 Evo on a regular basis, but I do enjoy it. If you're a coffee drinker and you were to make a testimonial video about a product and to specifically note that you didn't finish your cup of coffee that day, I mean, that's saying something, and that's same day result. So we're actually thinking about kind of combining this maybe with a decaf coffee product, so that we can say things, and this is kind of very weird marketing, but you can say, okay, take this with your decaf coffee, get all of the energy, none of the jitters, right? Because coffee, if
Mhm.
you drink too much, you certainly get the jitters, and then twice the sleep. We don't know how to fold that that last amazing piece in there. And you can also say if you're just sleeping better, right? Like if you're getting better sleep, whether it's longer sleep, deeper sleep, whatever it is, that's going to help your focus the next day. Period. Like period. End of
Yes.
story.
Yes. Yeah. That may be the reason for it too. You know the science more than I do, but and really that any one of these benefits would be worth it. But the fact that it kind of you get to take advantage of all these different things throughout the day is pretty great. So yeah, I love that. I've actually I do get in habits where I'm drinking too much coffee or having too much caffeine, and I like to go a week or two without any caffeine. And I have used the C60, maybe mentally relied on it a bit more in those times, and it helps out a lot to get off of the caffeine. So I would recommend that to anyone just from personal experience. If you're feeling like you're getting a little too reliant on caffeine, take a week or two off, get your system off of that, and this C60 can really help fill in the gap nicely, and like you said, without the jitters. So I
And
love that.
and I can add to that. I don't know if you ever tried Bulletproof Coffee or are aware of Bulletproof Coffee.
I'm aware of it. I have never tried it.
So Bulletproof Coffee, just for those who don't know, is basically it's a recipe for coffee that kind of a meal replacement for breakfast, created by Dave Asprey, and basically it's good coffee, like a tablespoon of ghee, which is a purified butter, and then MCT oil. Well, and that's what I have for breakfast every day. But instead of just regular MCT oil, I use the C60 Evo MCT oil, which is a beautiful purple color, which is kind of related to the name you didn't mention earlier. um, and so now you're adding the ESS60 molecule to this already really stellar breakfast replacement coffee. It's very delicious. A lot of people, when you think about butter and coffee, you're like, ooh, that was my first reaction. But
Hmm.
butter, but milk, you don't think twice about. Well, where does butter come from? Like
Right.
then it becomes, well, that makes a lot of sense. And then MCT has actually a very nice buttery flavor, at least a quality one like ours does. And so that's what I tend to have for breakfast. And while that's blending, I'll have a teaspoon and a half of our olive oil product. That's the product that we recommend. We recommend it for two key reasons. One of them is we are a research-based organization, and the research related to the ESS60 molecule is on olive oil. So, follow the research. And then number two, there's a much higher concentration of the ESS60 molecule in the olive oil. You get about 0.8 milligrams per milliliter. When you get into the avocado, it's only about 0.6. So we've got an avocado oil and its concentration is only about 0.6. And then we've got an MCT, and an MCT, it's only about 0.3. And we think that's part of the reason that purple delicious oil, people who have experienced it and then try our product actually really like our product significantly more, is because at some point they were promoting a product that had less than one half of the ESS60 molecule, and they weren't even using ESS60, it was C60.
Mm.
And so that's, again, we recommend the olive oil, higher concentration, and that's where all the research is.
Oh, that's great. Well, I want to mention one more thing, because I do think it's important. I don't want to. I hesitate on this one, but I I saw somewhere in your advertising that if you've maybe had a bit too much to drink, at night, you take a little C60, and the results are remarkable for your day the next day. I can attest to that. It is really wonderful. If you've had a little bit too much red wine with dinner or whatever case may be, you take a little bit of this, you feel a lot better in the morning. So is
It,
that
I,
just me, or is that other people too?
I have to, sheepishly raise my hand as well. And this is not a miracle where you were out doing, bottles of tequila and you wake up fresh and go for, a 12-mile jog or something. This is just like, and it's you apparently, and then me for sure, and a couple people in my office, and some other people that I've bumped into who wake up, after a night of imbibing maybe a little bit too much. And it's not miracle. Like I feel nothing. The statement is, I feel a lot better than I'm supposed to.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Like
Well,
if you know how you feel after, I don't know, 4 glasses of wine, and then you wake up the next day and you don't feel that way, you notice.
yes, yes. Well, there you go. That's the last one I wanted to mention, but again, that alone might be worth its weight in a bottle. So, we wanted to keep this a little bit shorter today. I know your time is valuable. We thank you for coming on. I want to end with a couple things. At the very end, we're actually going to give something away. So stick around for a couple more minutes, and we're going to give away one of these products, and that's really cool. That is courtesy of Chris and his company. So we want to thank him for that. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But we're recording this in November. The holiday season is on us. People are already starting to feel the countdown of, if number one, you got to figure out what to get somebody, and then you got to go do it and get it all here. But half the battle is just trying to figure out what kind of a gift do you get those family and friends, because it could be difficult. So this is cool. This is something different. This is something for people's health. Health is obviously paramount right now. It's top of mind for everybody. So I thought maybe if you want to just take a couple minutes, show us what you have that might make good gifts for Christmas or for holiday shopping, and then we'll wrap up and talk about what you're giving away.
Okay, excellent. Well, yeah, the first one again, and this is the one we recommend. This is the olive oil product, about 0.8 milligrams per milliliter. We have a bunch of different sizes. There's a discount inherent in getting kind of larger bottles. Next is avocado oil. I mentioned that I'll have the MCT in my coffee, and then I'll have about a teaspoon and a half of our olive oil. For lunch, I typically have a salad, and I'll throw some of our avocado product. It has about 0.6 milligrams per milliliter. And then this is the MCT version. It is delicious. MCT is quite tasty. You just got to know that the concentration is about 0.3 milligrams per milliliter, so less than half. And those come in various sizes. Again, the larger the size, the larger the discount inherent in that. I always like to point out we've got a cat version, right? And that has a salmon flavor. We've got a dog version. I think we're giving a dog lover set. That's the other thing to point out is all of our products on the link that we'll give you here soon. In fact, we'll give it now, and I'm sure it's in the notes. It's C60Evo.com/We Love Trump. When you go to that page, there's combos. You get discounts for larger bottles, and you get discounts for combos. So we've got a dog lover. I think we're giving that away today, and a cat lover. I do always like to point out that like we sell a lot more dog lover products than we sell cat lover products. So if you're out there and you have a feline, you really need to represent, because at this point, the data says people are more interested in their dogs living longer than their cats. I just throw that out.
We've proven it scientifically today. Exactly. Dogs are more popular than cats.
Exactly. There we go. And then we have our facial serum. And I've got to be honest, I really didn't want to get into the supplement industry. Our customers really kind of tilted and twisted our arms because they were so interested in continuing the benefits that they were getting from the product. And then when my business partner, Patty, approached me and said, "Hey, we should do a facial serum," I wasn't against it. I just, wasn't a champion of it. I am now. So I use this. The testimonials that we're getting about our facial serum are absolutely wonderful. And you can get what's called an inside out combo pack, which is like the consumable oil and the face serum. And I put this face serum both on my face and on the back of my hands, because, you got spots there that you want to take care of. And again, the FDA hasn't evaluated it. I can just tell you that I continue to put it on the back of my hands and on my face on a regular basis. And we also do have our lip balm, and it's a lip renewal product. One of them is mint and one of them is without flavor. And that really covers everything that we have available. Make sure if you go there, so you get discounts for combos, discount for larger sizes, and we offer a 20% discount for going on subscription. So even if you're just interested in trying it once, go on subscription. You can cancel that at any time. Take advantage of that discount. So if you try it for 10, 20 days and you're like, "Oh, it didn't really work for me," our staff is not trained to talk you out of canceling your subscription. We have like 500 five-star reviews on Google. They're there to support you. Just make sure you take advantage of that discount.
Yeah, that's great. And I just like to say, I only work with companies that I personally use, number one, and that I've had a good experience with. And I've always had a great experience with your company. Even before you came on the show and we actually got to talk face to face, I was just a customer, and you treated me great. You always took care of me. Everything was always fair. I love that you say go on subscription and get the 20% discount and then cancel if you want. So I've always had a great experience, and we would not be having you as a guest on the show if I didn't think that anybody watching this would not have the same great experience. So really appreciate that. Appreciate all you do for everybody that gets this stuff, and appreciate you making it, because it sounds like there was a point in time where you kind of made that decision to go full time into this, and if you didn't, then it might not even be around. So that's wonderful. Yeah. So we want to end with we've already kind of let the cat out of the bag, or let the dog out of the bag.
And the dog in this case, yeah.
Because you're giving away what you call your pet lover bundle, and that is one bottle of the human consumable C60, and then one bottle for the dogs. So you get one bottle of each. Your dog can be happy and healthy, and you can be happy and healthy. And I don't know if a cat lover wins, can they sub out the cat version for the dog?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna open this up for 1 week. It's always free to enter. We're gonna put the link right below the video. You can enter the giveaway for free. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything that costs money. It's totally free. There's actually a couple different ways to enter down below, so you can get a couple different entries if you do a couple different things. And if you end up winning, we're going to draw one winner next week. And if you end up being the winner, you can claim a bottle for your dog or a bottle for your cat, and then you'll get that one for you too. So we're just excited to get this out to more people. I really appreciate you doing a giveaway like that. You didn't have to do that, but it's not the cheapest thing in the world. And so for you guys to do a giveaway, there's a good dollar amount that goes with that. So this is not a small gift.
Well, one of the great things about the giveaway, at least in our case, is people love the product. So probably whoever we're giving it to is going to be a customer. So yeah, it really is a no-brainer for us. And we want to support your audience.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. We will have you back again, because every time we do this, it gets a lot of great responses, and I know we're making a difference and helping people get and stay healthy. So Chris, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Noah, for having me.